Oh man, oh man. Okay, so Easy to Block Captain's undefeated record on the URLTV.TV app recently changed from 12-0 to 9-3. People were saying, a lot of people were saying that this was some kind of glitch. This was some kind of mistake, some kind of error. It was a glitch. The URL responds on Twitter today and says that this is not a glitch, bruh. This is actually some kind of merger of voting systems, some kind of merger of voting systems. So numbers are in fact changing on this app. This wasn't a glitch, and numbers are not going to go back to what they were. And on top of this, people are having a hard time understanding why and or how this was actually an attack on Easy the Block Captain. Let's talk about it. Hey man, hey man. I see through a lot of BS, bro. I see through people's BS in real life. I see through media BS. I see through a lot of BS, bro. I'm not gonna lie. I do. When people started to say that what happened on the URLTV.TV app was a glitch or some kind of mistake, I knew that people had no idea what they were talking about. People are still lost in the sauce and don't get what's going on here. First of all, the URL response to the situation earlier today on Twitter. Before we move forward, make sure you hit a like on the video for me, man. Make sure you hit a like on the video. The URL response to the situation today. And they let us know. They say, App Gang, apologies for the current inaccuracy of the leaderboard. We are merging old scorecards into the new voting database. It's taking longer than expected. This migration should be completed within days. We hope you're enjoying the new app. Thanks for your support. The new layout on the app is fire, URL. I'll give you that. I'll give you that. But what people were thinking as far as this being some kind of glitch or some kind of mistake or something like that isn't the case. What's going on is, as URL states, there's a merging of old scorecards into the new voting system, which means that numbers are going to change. Numbers are absolutely going to change. For those of you who thought that this was a glitch and, oh, this is temporary and numbers are going to go back to what they were, it's just because of an update, and no. URL just let us know that that's not the case. This is the merging of old scorecards into a new voting system. Why are people so naive? Why are people so naive? A lot of y'all still can't understand how this play is an attack to blemish Easy the Block Captain. A lot of y'all are saying things like, and for those of y'all that understand, salute to y'all, man, for real. A lot of y'all are trying to say that multiple battle rappers' numbers changed on the app. multiple battle rappers' numbers changed on the app. This is not anything to do with Easy the Block Captain. Nothing. Everybody's numbers changed on the app. Everybody's. If it was an attack on Easy, why didn't they just change Easy's numbers? This is a literal question, bro, that I saw. If it was an attack on Easy, it would have just been Easy. If it was an attack on Easy, why did everybody's numbers change? Bruh. It's crazy that I even have to... It's crazy that people would even think like that, bruh. How would it look if Easy's numbers were the only numbers that were changed on this app, bruh? How crazy would it look if Easy's numbers were the only numbers, bruh, that were changed on this app? How could, at that point, the URLTV app hide the fact that this was an attempt to knock down Easy's status? How would they be able to explain that? You wouldn't. You wouldn't. It would be extremely obvious that it was an attempt to knock down the status of an Easy the Block Captain. It would be stupid for the URL to do something like that, bro. That would just be, man, y'all think that we've seen blatant things happen recently? And no, that would be like somebody smacking you in your face with truth. Like, that would be the end all be all of, oh yeah, this is, how crazy would it look? To y'all that have this silly question, bro, oh, if it was Easy, why wasn't it just Easy's numbers? What? It's crazy that I even have to address that type of question. The reason why, right, I feel like so many people have such a hard time believing what's going on is, first of all, because people can't separate business from something that they love. A lot of y'all that don't want to believe this stuff love battle rap and love the URL. So it's hard to separate the business of it, the money aspect of it that drives and motivates a lot of these actions. You can't separate the two. This is partly why people have such a hard time understanding why these things that are happening in battle rap lately happen. So first of all, we need to separate what we've known and what we've loved for 10 years, battle rap and the URL, from the business of URL currently. Right? A lot of us have a hard time doing that, especially those of us who grew up watching and loving the URL, especially us. The reason being is because we grew up watching. Those of us that have been watching for a long time, we grew up watching the URL, bro. We grew up looking at URL as the #1 creme de la creme. This is the best in the world. Oh my, this is the end all be all. This is the greatest thing that ever happened to us, and blah, blah, blah. We love battle rap. We want to see good battles. We want to see authentic, genuine, good battles take place, bro. We grew up in that. The URL wasn't always what it is right now. The URL didn't always have that other side that people can't separate from the URL. That came along later down the line. So another reason that people have such a hard time understanding why these things happen and why they would take place is because we grew up loving the URL. So a lot of us can't fathom or don't want to believe that the people we grew up watching and idolizing can do or are capable of doing these types of things. But the thing is that, right, those types of things that are being done are a part of this side, the URL business, which people can't separate or don't understand the difference or the fact that there are those two factors that exist. Unlike, right, an actual company that sells a product, right? Some of y'all follow me, right? A company that sells a product pops out of nowhere, comes out of nowhere. That's not the same as us having followed and loved the URL for multiple years and then it transitioning into a company. That's the difference. That's why people can't understand why these things or how these things could happen at URL. But people can understand how things like that can happen with a regular company, bro, that sells products like Nike and blase blah. We didn't grow up, right, loving or even knowing Nike before it became a company, before it became a money-hungry company. So it's not hard for us to see and understand that, oh, Nike can take advantage of its employees. Nike does this. They outsource labor to pay cheaper rates, and they do this, and it's like we can understand when it comes to that because we didn't grow up loving Nike before Nike was this big company. No, we've always known Nike to be a big company. So when we say things like, oh yeah, they do this wrong and they do that, and they outsource, pretty much have slavery making their sneakers and over in China and blah, these are all things that we can easily accept. And like, oh yeah, because unlike the URL, we didn't grow up loving or even knowing what Nike was before it was a big company. No, but we did with URL. We came up loving URL for its authenticity, for its genuity, for the fact that they were actually doing real battle rap and it wasn't a money hungry company and blase blah, but then it transitioned into that. It transitioned into that. It wasn't always that. It transitioned. So people still love the URL for what it originally was and can't and or refuse to understand the types of things that are happening today. That's why so much people can't believe it. That's why so many people are so quick to be like, oh, nah, you crazy. Simply put, the URL is not what it used to be. So, again, it would look absolutely absurd if the URL only changed Easy to Block Captain's numbers. That would be something that they could not have an answer for. There's no answer for that. If you change everybody's numbers, then we can have an answer. We can say, oh yeah, this is, we're merging voting systems and, numbers are changing. And you can hide the easy attack, the attack on easy behind that cover, behind that facade. We will see now that we're pointing these things out if that remains the way it is. Because URL also listens to our conversations, bruh. They also listen to our conversations that we have here and read our comments. I know this for a fact. So don't be surprised if URL changes course in real time as we have these conversations in real time. For example, the John versus Easy battle. The fact that we blew out the water, we blew that topic out the water. The fact that we were having these discussions about, oh, it potentially ending up on the app, and then Easy realizing that it might end up on the app, and then asking for an extra 50K or it's not going to blah, 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 blah. That literally can change the course of the actions that URL takes in real time. So don't be surprised if the URL now hits a UE and says, nah, you know what? There's way too many people talking about this. There's way too much controversy around it now. Way too many people are on to what it is that we were trying to do, so we can't even do it anymore. Because if we do, it's going to look crazy now. Now we actually prove this guy and these people right that are having these conversations about what we are trying to do. So we're going to continue to have these conversations We are. Because they could potentially change the course of the actions of URL. So for example, if a lot of people weren't having this conversation that we're having right now, if we're not having this conversation that we're having right now, the URL can mess around and, you know, maybe leave that 9 and 3. You know what I'm saying? Leave it there. Nobody's really talking about it. There's no backlash from it. You know what I'm saying? We can actually do this, which will do what? In turn, blemish Easy the Block Captain. Easy the Block Captain would be the person who would be most impacted by this change. This is another reason why I don't understand why it's so hard for people to believe what's going on. Easy would be single-handedly the person who would be most impacted by this situation. Mr. Undefeated. This is why he's so hot in battle rap. He beat everybody. He would be the most impacted by the situation. It's unfortunate that we're seeing what we're seeing happen, you know what I mean, in 2023. It is unfortunate. But we're going to keep having these conversations, bruh. And I have a feeling that there are battle rappers like Easy who I feel like made a direct response to my blogs recently. That type of thing doesn't happen unless you're talking some real shit. Unless you're speaking some real shit. If it wasn't and it was nonsense and it was blasphemy, there's no need to even acknowledge me or even respond or even take into consideration what I be saying. Sort of like Illuminati, when people was out here saying that, oh, battle rappers sacrifice their family members and have gay orgies with Beasley and blah, blah, blah. Nobody was responding to that because that's some BS, conspiracy stuff, like, obviously. But me, there's people that are responding directly to blogs that I'm making. So I know for a fact that I'm onto stuff that other people are not. And that's why I know I'm not crazy when I speak on these topics, bro. I'm literally like speaking on things that are directly impacting and people feel directly. So let me know what y'all think of that situation, man. The URL response lets us know it's not a glitch. This is a merging of voting systems with old poll systems. People still can't believe or fathom or understand how this could possibly be an attack on Easy the Block Captain. And URL is simply not what it used to be. It's not the same thing that it was when we loved it. It's not the same thing anymore. So let me know what y'all think of that, man. You already know what it is. It's your boy Dro coming at you live and direct from the battle.